they were going to release the Epstein files day one. Right? Okay, what happened? What happened? If that's what you wanted to do before you got the job, and then you got the job and day one you couldn't do it. Okay, so what are we saying? Are we saying that this is more complicated? It's probably a lot more complicated. There's probably a web. And then there's also people for decades and decades been developing relationships and working inside these fucking... And that's the real government. That's our real government. That's our real government. These people realize that once they get into Congress, they realize that when they become a senator, they realize that. Like, okay, this is not the real government. And if you fuck with the real government, they'll take your ass out.
They'll shoot you. Or they'll try.
They did everything to Trump. They did everything. They did indictments. They did public shame. They took shots at him.
But also with the Epstein thing, it's probably like just way too many people are on that list for our government to be even any sort of functional.
Look at the two of them. It's a hostage video, dog.
Dude, he looks so scared to be there right now.
Bro, that's a hostage video.
That's Cash right now being like, don't say the wrong name or I'm dead.
Yeah, that's a hostage video, son.
Yeah, there's no winning in that because it's like that's Epstein is across the aisle. That's everybody.
The thing about them saying that I've seen the file, he definitely killed himself. Well, what could be in the file? Let's strongman this. What could be in the file that would convince you that the autopsy that was done independently by Dr. Michael Baden, who's that famous HBO autopsy guy? Do you know that guy?
No.
You ever see that show, HBO's Autopsy?
No, I've never seen that.
Great show. From a while back. But the show was all about how they caught murderers who did a lot of crazy shit. So this guy, anyway, he's got a famous show that was on HBO that was on for a long time, like many seasons. All of these insane murder cases, like how they caught these people. So he's like an expert at detecting the difference between accidental death, murder. And he looked at the autopsy. He looked at what had happened to Epstein's body. He said, this is indicative of someone being strangled to death. These kind of breaks in the bones on the neck. This is not what happens when you hang yourself. And he was like, the mark is also in the wrong place. It's low on the neck. Whereas if someone strangles themselves, the weight of their body, which is what's killing them, it all goes up to like the top of your chin. He's like, none of these injuries are injuries that are consistent with someone who was strangled. So what could be in, if they don't have a video? So if they say the cameras were down, okay, so there's no video. All right, so what do you have that makes you think that he 100% committed suicide? And how do you let the guy who is in one of the most high-profile cases of sex trafficking in history, how do you let that guy just not be watched?
But also, why is Ghislaine still alive? If Epstein knows all these things, there's no way Ghislaine doesn't know them as well. She's like there. She's there the whole time. I feel like she knows everything that he knows.
Well, she's in jail where they get to do yoga.
Yeah, so she got a sweet deal.
Well, she is alive though, which is kind of crazy. Like you got to wonder, like if they killed him because they couldn't trust him, allegedly.
Right.
Let's just say.
Let's just say allegedly.
Maybe let's give Cash and Dan the benefit of the doubt. And say maybe there's something in that file that shows that what would convince you? What could be in the file that would convince you?
I mean, it would have to be active. It would have to be active politicians, presidents, billionaires. Like it's got to be like that level of like. I mean, the fucking prince was there.
Did you ever see what Epstein's cellmate looked like?
No,
bro. Ready for this? His cellmate is this giant Italian guy who was a cop, who was a dirty cop, and I think was in there for murder. I think it was like a bad drug deal or some shit. Let's find the details in this. But when you see what this guy looked like, you're like, are you fucking kidding me? He looks like The Rock.
Right.
Guy's giant. And this is the cellmate. You put a murderer in with the guy who's the most high-profile witness and defendant in history, dealing with a sex slave operation for elites, and left him in there with a giant murderer.
Right. And there should be a guard around him at all times. But they knew they were going to liquidate him.
You know what?
Almost immediately.
You get an image of him, Jamie?
I was digging through details of what he did that I didn't remember. I don't remember
What the
hearing.
cop did?
Yeah, he had 4 life sentences.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, but let's show the picture
Well,
of him. The picture's insane.
That's
when you see what he looks like, you're like, this guy looks like a heavyweight MMA fighter.
Right. They were just waiting for him to die.
Bro, he literally looks like a gorilla. Look at him. Far right picture. That one, yeah. Look at the size of this guy. Imagine...
Damn.
Someone got strangled to death, and this guy's the cellmate. Nothing to see here, folks. Look at the size of the fucking guy. Ex-Westchester cop gets 4 life terms in prison for quadruple homicide. So he's already in jail for 4 life sentences. All you have to do is give him tuna fish. You get tuna from the commissary. Just kill this guy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to get? We're going to get you hookers every month. We'll bring in a hooker. What are you going to get?
Damn.
I mean, I'm not saying that that happened.
I mean,
but I'm saying if a guy is in jail for 4 life sentences, like that would be a good guy to hire.
One of them was strangling someone to death with a zip tie.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
He's
wow.
good at it. He's good at it. Jesus Christ. He strangled someone to death with a zip tie.
tortured him.
What is his name?
Martin Luther.
Tartaglione. Tartaglione. It's like a character in a bad novel.